Under the same moon, we share the love, embracing the differences like hand in glove. Spreading peace and joy, it's a beautiful sight. Together we shine in each other's light. And now do we stand in love's pure might, watching the world share in love and light. Hearts beating as one in our peaceful flight. Colors of harmony painting the night. And now here we stand in love's pure might.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Watching the World. Tonight, we're going to have a deep dive into what happened. Actually, we covered it here on Saturday night. All that occurred in regards to the White House Correspondents shooting involving the President of the United States of America. Today, we're going to look at it from pretty much every angle to try to make some determinations to try to figure out what could have happened. One of the dominant questions that everybody is asking is, how in the world did this guy breach the security? As you guys know, if you go to a concert, sometimes you go to the Yankee game or whatever you go to, it seems that there's layers and layers of security. So when it comes to the White House or the White House Correspondents Dinner, the first question you would have is, how in the world could you get past some of the best security in the world, namely the Secret Service? Now, we talked about it earlier today that the President of the United States, this is the third time on record that someone has made an attempt on his life. The first one happened in Butler, Pennsylvania, not far from where I live at. The second one was just maybe a week or two later. The president was playing golf at Mar-a-Lago, and a man tried to take his life from the perimeter of the property line. They were able to lock him up, and we haven't heard from him again, pretty much, right? And then everybody knows about what happened last weekend when it comes to the president, and not only the president of the United States, but some 3,000 people there, primarily individuals associated with the media. And these people, their lives were on the line based on what we saw and heard. So tonight we're going to get into this, but I'm also going to go back in time and I'm going to break down what happened in regards to Ronald Reagan. Now, I don't want to tell you guys my age, but I remember when Ronald Reagan assassination attempt happened. And I remember my grandmother distinctly talking about it. So why do we bring up Ronald Reagan, who has a lot of fans in the world? A lot of people say, well, we'll never have another Ronald Reagan, probably until Donald Trump came along, right? A lot of people are fans of Donald Trump, but it seems that just as many that love him, there's a whole slew of people that don't care for him at all. The reason why we bring up Ronald Reagan is because Ronald Reagan, his attempt happened at the same location. Literally feet away, Ronald Reagan's attempt happened. I'm going to show you where that happened. We're going to do a tour. Believe it or not, we're going to do a tour right through the hotel where all of this occurred. I'm going to show you, in accordance to the media's, to best of my ability, that the individual that tried to take the president's life or whatever his objective was, he didn't walk from outside, more than likely. More than likely, he was staying in the hotel several days. He had traveled from out west via train, at least from what's being reported. But he actually came down the elevator, and I'm going to show you how all of this played out. I'm going to compare it to the video. So grab your favorite drink, whether it's wine or juice or water, or maybe some of you like coffee at night. There are a few people who like coffee and tea at night. I see we have a lot of people in the building. Shout out to each and every one of you. Okay, Jerome came back. We have AI in the building. I saw Stella was here bright and early. I see Critical is back from earlier today. Okay, D. Cran is enjoying a beer. Well, you're going to need a beer tonight because this is going to be quite heavy, I must say. And I'm going to really tie everything together. You're going to see exactly how all this fits together. So, starting off, we're going to go back in time until Saturday night when I was actually watching this. And I'm going to show you, we're going to take our time. We're going to go back to the event, but I'm going to tie in some things that you would not have been able to see from the objective point that we have been watching it basically from the cameraman that was airing it on YouTube and also on television. Okay, so bear with me here because this is a lot of information and hopefully we can get through it all. Let's get to the main event. I'm going to take you now to this grand event at the White House. Well, actually under the White House, but it was actually at the Hilton Hotel. But it's called the White House Correspondents Dinner. Let's get to it and see what's happening. Now, here's a key point. I want you to guys to really point out where JD Vance is sitting. Okay, that's very important. And also notate where the president and his wife is sitting, because a big argument that's out here is that JD Vance was rescued by the Secret Service about 22 seconds before the president. Now, keep in mind, a lot of you would probably think that the door, the main entrance for this ballroom is probably straight away, because typically when you go to an event, you come into the grand doors and there is the stage, pretty much when you go to a wedding. Well, in this case, I'm going to show you guys tonight that it's not set up that way. The door is off to the side, and we're going to really get to it. But pay attention where JD Vance is sitting in connection to the president. Also, pay attention to where pretty much all of the Secret Service is coming from when they approach the stage to secure the highest men in the nation. So let's get back to it here. So pretty much it's a lovely evening, right? You see politicos there. All right, that's going to be key. Look at all the 3,000 some people that are there. You can see the layout. It's very important to pay attention to the layout and all the people that are there. There's the president chatting away, just taking life easy at this event. Okay, we're going to take this play by play, folks. It looks like he's tired, though. This will not be a fast night. I'm going to break this down bit by bit. Okay, so you see JD Vance, right? Check out his location. They're already eating. Some of them are eating. I don't know which stage or which phase, but they're already eating. That's important to note. Look at the audience. Look how vast the place is. Now, the angle that we're seeing now, that's the angle of the main door coming into the event. I'm going to show that to you. So this viewpoint is the main entrance. You see Caroline, she's there. And this guy here, he's a mentalist. He's there trying to guess Caroline is pregnant. In fact, as a side note, she's going to be leaving the White House, and they're going to have Pete Hegseth, J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, the president himself are all going to fill in for her while she's out on maternity leave. Some say, oh, she's not coming back. But anyway, the key point here, the guy that's standing up, this mentalist, he has a note in his hand with a word written on it. He's trying to guess the name of Caroline Levitt's baby that's on the way. All right, so that's what's happening here. I want you guys to pay attention to the First Lady's face. Okay, did you hear that? That was the shot. Okay, that was the shot. Okay, so check it out. I'm going to stop it. I want you guys to pay attention and hear this shot. It's very important because the president, the first lady, none of them are aware. In fact, later on, the president in his speech, he's going to say, oh, I thought it was some dishes falling, but let's check it out. So that was the shot right there. Okay. So that's important to note the shot. And notice now they don't even have a clue. Check it out. Now notice the female on the far right of your screen, and also notice the First Lady's Melania's face. Later, the president reveals that they hear someone say, get down. And that's when he realizes that everything is about to hit the fan. Check it out. Okay, so now things are shaking. You see everybody shaking up, right? Look at Melania's face. Look at Caroline Levitt. Okay, at this point, they're already moving out J.D. Vance. Okay, he's moving already. Look at the president. I want you guys to pay attention. There's a guy standing on the floor level. There's a guy standing in front of the president. We don't see any weapons, right? Now, keep in mind, the angle that the screen is now, the view that we have is actually the main door to this event. Okay, so whoever is coming in through this door has an angle right here on the president. So this guy standing here in the front and also the one on the floor level, they would not be able to do anything to stop any type of shooting toward the president. I'm going to show you all of this later. I just want you to get an idea of how this place is laid out. Okay, so check it out. So J.D. Vance is already secure. Now I want you to count the seconds of how long it takes them to actually get the president. And also you're going to see the first lady. She's going to slowly duck her head down below the table. Check it out. There goes Melania. She dips her head. The president is not afraid. The guy is pretty much fearless, I think. But he's sitting there wide open. Check it out. Look at all the time it's going by, right? Now they're running to secure him. They still haven't fully secured him. His back is wide open, right? Now, I want you guys to also note that the president, they have to basically push him down because the guy, he wants to stand up and see what's happening. He doesn't seem to be scared at all. Okay, so that's where they get him down to the floor. The ladies that are behind him, they have to fend for themselves. They're trying to get around the Secret Service detail. I'm going to show you this now from a couple of other angles so you guys can now understand the layout and how this all came to be. So bear with me here. I'm just going to play a little bit more. Okay, so keep in mind, this angle here is actually the main entrance into this ballroom. You would think that the main entrance is straight away from the stage, but it's not, and we're going to get to all of that now. So now I'm going to show you a couple of angles. Now keep in mind what we just saw. It's very important to keep that factored in. I'm going to show you these different angles at this moment. Check out J.D. Vance here. So you see how fast they got J.D. Vance out? So we were seeing this we saw it from a different angle. Now I'm going to start it over, but look how swiftly they get JD Vance out. But notice in the background, you're going to see the president just sitting there, oblivious to what's going on. See that? The president's just sitting over there. JD Vance is security. Now they're going back to secure the president of the United States. This is really odd, but I guess they have an explanation for it. So now they have the president. He's slow moving. He's not scared. He doesn't seem like a guy that's fear inspired at all. But notice how the females are trying to get around him because they are wide open. Check this out. Poor lady in the white dress, gray dress. She's just trying to fend for herself and can't get in. And you see her crawling now, right? So that's just how it goes in the nation. You always secure the president first. But in this case, we saw JD Vance. Now, when these type of things happen, this is how we have room for conspiracy theories. And I'm pretty sure, well, they're already running with the narrative because a lot of people picked up on that first. In fact, I received a few videos and people were saying, listen, man, they got JD Vance out. They protected him, but they left the president wide open. I thought it was a matter of, it seemed that all of their security detail was to the right of the stage. And so JD Vance was just the first one to grab. That doesn't seem smart, especially after the president of the United States took a shot in the ear. Now, last week, a lot of people were saying, well, the president didn't get shot. It's all a hoax or what have you. What's ironic about it is that within 5 days of all of the hoopla, here we have another incident with the president of the United States at a big event. Now, keep in mind, if the president was to go down, right, in his boots, as they would say, go down with your boots on, who would take his place? Well, it would be JD Vance, right? You have both of these guys on the stage. Like, how in the world could you allow that to happen, to have the top leaders? And then after that, who would you choose? Well, most of these individuals are in the building, right? The top leaders of the world, while we're currently at war. And if you don't want to call it a war, I respect your beliefs. We'll call it a conflict, or we'll call it a spat or argument, whatever you want to call it. Again, at a time when Iran is at the president's neck, you have him and also the highest men in the nation all under one roof. Okay, so let's get back to it. I'm going to show this one more time so everybody can get the context of what we're going over. Okay, one more. JD Vance is safe and sound. Check it out. That poor lady, she is just duck out of water, right? Okay, all right. So now I'm going to show you how this was playing out when the president was actually sitting up here on the stage. I'm going to show you now what was actually happening in the at the higher level. It's called the terrace level. So I'm going to show you this now. Let's check it out. So let me pause this and move myself out of the way so you guys can see it clearly. I want you to notice the guy is going to come running from the far left of the screen. He's going to pass by these doors, which are lobby doors for the terrace. Now, as a key point, outside of these doors, that's where Ronald Reagan was actually shot many, many years ago. But we're going to get into all that. I want you to notice the president, this is pretty much lined up appropriately. This is while the president is actually sitting in the basement below the level. So this is a little bit flipped, okay? But in the basement, they're having the ballroom. So this guy is going to come running. He's coming really fast, running on a higher level, which is called the terrace. He's trying to get past the Secret Service agents because to the right here are a group of stairs he's trying to get down. And once he gets to the base of the stairs, I'm going to show you the doors wide open. He would be able to pretty much shoot into a crowd of 3,000 people with the president sitting where he's sitting now, as you can see on the stage. So you see him running through now. Check it out. So everybody wants to know, where did he come from? Well, I'm going to show you exactly where he came from, because many say, well, how in the world did he come from outside and you have all of the Secret Service? I'm going to show you that he was actually staying in the hotel. He literally fell. You could probably see his feet at the bottom right corner. He didn't make it far at all. There was a lady coming up the stairs. She said he fell at her feet and did not really much. He didn't move again. So let's look at it. So right here is where he falls. You could actually see it to the far right. He's down. It's almost like he just meant to fall. I don't know, but let's check it out. So you see him running through, just to give you an idea. And that's where the shot went off. It's documented pretty well. Okay, so that gives you an idea about that. So now I'm going to take you back in time, and then I'm going to actually show you guys the inside of the hotel. I'm going to show you where he came from. Now, the key thing for you guys to keep in mind, I want you to look at this back wall. You see that there's actually 3 doors. There's a door on the left, and then you see his picture is kind of in the way, but there's 2 double doors side by side. That's very important to see. Also, if you look at the bottom right-hand corner of this photo, you can see the beginning of the stairs that are going down where this guy fell right in front of that. So when you see him wrapped in aluminum foil or whatever it is, he's actually laying right here, right at the base of the stairs. We're going to get into all of that. All right, so now I'm going to take you and show you what happened with Ronald Reagan first. Okay, that's very important. And I'm going to show you how that is connected with today as far as the location. So let's check it out. First, we're going to get started with Ronald Reagan, and then I'm going to bring you back into time. Let's check it out.
March 30th, 1981.
1981, March 30th, okay?
John Hinckley was a 25-year-old with romantic delusions, convinced that actress Jodie Foster would be impressed if he killed the president. Outside the Hilton Hotel.
So he's trying to kill the president, all for female. Isn't that something? Now, I want you guys to understand, this is 1981. I want you to look at this building across the street. You guys see that? You see the pillars there? I want you to get an idea. Now look over here to the far right under the logo for Watching the World. You see those bricks up against the wall? Okay, where these men are standing. Notice there's bricks. They're sort of gray. Okay, so keep that in mind. I want you to be able to understand the whole layout.
In Washington, D.C., Hinckley caught up with his target.
And I don't think there was a better demonstration of how that training worked than the assassination attempt against President Reagan.
Okay, so again, you see in the background, you see the building. It's very important that you get the understanding of that building. You see how this limousine, this probably 1981 limousine, is pointed toward that building. That's key. And now Ronald Reagan is being shot. He's actually at the hotel, the same hotel that they came after the president. Okay, check it out.
Jerry Parr and Ray Shattuck, as soon as that first shot goes off, they grab the president and they throw him into the car.
Agent Tim McCarthy shielded Reagan with his body, taking a bullet in the process.
So the agent, he took a bullet there for the president, Reagan at the time.
Within moments,
you see the limousine takes off. Keep in mind the building that's in front of it.
The limo sped away from a scene of chaos. Hinckley was
Okay, you see the bricks behind them? It's very important that you note the bricks behind them. That's what we're after.
buried under a mountain of Secret Service agents. Agent McCarthy, Press Secretary James Brady, and D.C. policeman.
Okay, so you see the sidewalk, you see the curving of the sidewalk, you see the bricks on the wall. This is all the Hilton Hotel, but it's back in 1981. So even the Hilton and also that building across the street, they've been remodeled a bit. Okay, so we're going to check it out.
Thomas Delahanty lay on the sidewalk, severely injured. All three survived, but Brady had permanent brain damage.
The old saying that, Secret Service agent will take a bullet for the president. If you look at the Reagan assassination, Tim McCarthy did do that, but he was trained to do that as well. And his heroic actions demonstrate
And guys, I'm going to get to the comments in 1 second once I get this all laid out first.
that.
Although the agents around the president reacted heroically, many mistakes had been made.
So we're hearing back in 1981, Secret Service made many mistakes. The same thing we're hearing today in regards to what happened in Butler and also what happened on Saturday night, right? Why do we hear that common denominator?
The Secret Service relies on a perimeter system of protection. The outer
Now, this is how the Secret Service works. I want you guys, this is the key part to this video, all right? This is going to explain a lot.
is a preliminary check by local police. The middle has Secret Service agents searching for weapons.
And then there's the inner perimeter, and that's
So the local police have the outer perimeter, right? That explains a lot whenever you go to an event like this, okay? The inner perimeter, you have the Secret Service just looking, scanning for weapons.
the final defense. It's the agents around the president.
Hinckley had penetrated 2 of the perimeters and fired at least 5 shots at point-blank range.
So the guy that ran in Saturday night would have to have pierced 3 different perimeters. This guy was able to get through, okay?
The Secret Service had been trying for years to get metal detectors to screen for weapons. They got authorization days later.
Okay, so that gives you an idea. I'm going to show you now how this is all laid out. Give me 1 second to pull this up. I'm going to show you how this is all going to come together here. Here we go. All right, so to get an understanding, this is the layout of the hotel. We get a chance to see the inside, and I'm going to show you. Now, you have to keep in mind that those 3 doors that I showed you when we were watching the video, but right here, this is the lobby area. So for tourists, this would be the doors. Lincoln, right, would have been, so you have the lower level. Do you guys see that? The lower level right now is dim, okay? Right now, the level where Lincoln was, or Reagan was shot outside is right here. You're actually seeing the beginning part of the lobby. You see the couches, okay? Now, this guy was actually staying in the hotel. So when you walk in through the terrace floor, okay, right here is the carport. And it's hard to believe, but all of this area, cars are driving over. You see all of this lower level basement area. Even down here on the bottom floor that I'm showing you now, this is actually the ballroom. We're going to get to that later. But this is all underground. You'll see that the buses, the cars are driving over that. This part here, terrace that is lit up, that I pulled to the front here. Imagine yourself walking in the front door. So if he had came in through this way, he would have came in through the terrace level, okay? But this guy actually stayed at the hotel several nights. So we're going to go to the floor level of the terrace. Okay, so now we're inside the hotel. Okay, this is the key part. Ronald Reagan was shot right outside these doors. Let's see how close we can go to it. And you see across the street, you see those columns, right? I showed you the back in 1981, that limousine was pointed toward those columns there. Okay, so this would have been inside the building, but this guy did not have to come in the building. Everybody's saying, well, how did he get past Secret Service? Well, he didn't have to come. He came down these elevators. These are the elevators here that he came down. Okay, he came down these elevators. I'm going to show you by video proof that I'm absolutely correct. So he came down. He would have came down from these elevators, okay, into this hallway. When you see the guy starting to run in the video, this is where he's. Now we have to go the opposite direction. Okay. Oh Lord. Let's see here. Okay. Let's get this changed up a bit. This is a little weird here. Okay, so we have it here. So he would have been right here. Okay. And this is the curve where he was running. So he would have ran this way. And I'm going to show you that once this stops. Okay, that here's the doors. Remember I showed you in the video? This is the door, and you have the Secret Service. Their table is right here, and these are the other doors. Right here in the ceiling, this is the camera that you're watching. It's all grainy. I don't know. They make all this money, and they put out a grainy video. I don't understand, okay? So the guy in the video, the tables are set up here. Okay, you see where my cursor is? He runs from the left. I'm gonna see if I can get closer here. Okay, so he's running from this angle here. Where you see the blue circle at, that's the elevators, okay? So that's basically, he comes this way. I'm gonna show you where he falls down at too. Okay, so this is the stairs that he's trying to go down. Okay, keep in mind, you see these steps here? He falls when you see him wrapped in the aluminum foil or whatever you want to call it, okay? He's actually laying here right beyond this curtain, okay? We compare this with the video. You see this is the actual doors, okay? So now I'm going to show you how he actually came down. He was trying to get down the stairs. So we're going to go to the lower level. I'm going to show you here. Let's see if we can find it. Okay, here we go. Okay, so right here, I'm going to take you here. Okay, so remember so these are the stairs that he was trying to come down. So we start at you see here it says the terrace level. Well, I just showed you how to get through the terrace level from the front door where Ronald Reagan was shot. So he came down the elevator. I showed you that. He fell at the top of these stairs at the terrace level. Now, remember I told you he was trying to get here, and I told you the view from the doors. Look at the stage. So you look at these doors, the president's sitting right there. This is the stage in comparison to if he came down these steps here. This is very important. So we're going to go back and look at these steps here. See here, he would have came down if he hadn't have fallen, he would have came down these steps and looked right through these doors. That would have been his view. J.D. Vance would have been sitting roughly right here. As he runs into these doors, there's 3,000 people in this room. Okay, so he was almost there, folks. That's the stage where the president was sitting at. We're going to go to it, but notice that the doors weren't right across from the stage. No, it was at an angle. And I told you that these Secret Service guys or whoever, they were standing in front of the president. If he had a shot, he would not have been blocked by the Secret Service men at all. So anyway, I'm going to take you into this. This is the ballroom. Obviously, it looked much different that night with all of the 3,000 people sitting there. But look at, this is the stage where we saw the president sitting at. What's ironic about this whole situation is that the individual that did this probably used this same format to understand the layout of the hotel so that he could make his attack. And all he had to do was go online and pull up this, just as I'm doing now. But this is how simple this whole layout was in regards to what occurred. Now I'm going to move to some of the comments before we move further, but this is it. And keep in mind that the president of the United States says that they want to try to do this again in 30 days. I'm pretty sure they would have way more people involved, many more. But this just gives you an idea of the entire layout. Let's see here. What do we have? Okay, we have A lot of comments, man. Oh, man. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Mickey says, with all the high technology today. Okay, exactly. Very good. Thank you very much. Okay, we have quite a few people here. Mother says, or Mutha says, very poor security arrangements. Exactly. We still have to answer those questions in regards to J.D. Vance. Why was he taken out first? That seems to be the main question that everybody has in regards to this. Jerome says it was a clumsy hitman. Okay. All right. I understand that. Mickey says, great video, by the way, and God bless everyone. Okay. Thank you. Nice to have you here. I think this is my first time seeing you in the chat. Okay. Yes. Jerome says he obviously got close. You heard the gunshots with the music inside the ballroom. Exactly. He was basically right above the building. I'm going to show you. Let me just pull this up quickly. This is actually the outside of the building. Okay. So this is the door that most of them probably went into, the 3,000 people. I'm not sure I wasn't there. But right here, where you see the arrow, that's basically where the limousine was when Reagan was shot. Okay. They were going in and out of this door, probably there for this same ballroom. This building here wasn't there in 1981. But when you turn around, you see what I'm talking about? That's the building with the columns. So that gives you an idea that we have the actual right place. And this road and all of this parking, it's all on top of the ballroom. I know it's hard to believe that, but the ballroom sits underground at this level. You see all of these cars, right, under the shelter here. This cargo van or this passenger van is all sitting over the basement level of this particular hotel. So it just gives you an idea of how all of this turned out. He basically came in through this first level, terrace level. He actually came down the elevator. He was staying at one of these levels. But basically, he went over to the other side and went down the stairs. And if he was successful having a shotgun, he probably would have been able to dramatically either take lives or seriously hurt people. Okay, so we're going to go back to this here. I'm going to get to a few more of the comments before we look at some more intel in regards to the guy that actually did this. I'll look at the most recent comments because there's so many here. All right. Jerome says, thanks for clearing that up. Okay, the ground level. Yeah, it's hard to imagine that, all of these buses and cars are on top of the people that are actually sitting, at the ballroom, but this is just how it's constructed. You wouldn't imagine that, but that's the case. All right, we have Uncommon Woman. Thank you very much for all your support. Jerome says, so that was a stupid move if they were down in the basement. Well, that's where they meet at. So it's definitely something to consider. Ground and Sky says, this is very informative, good to understand all of this. Well, it gives you an idea of some of the things that people are saying in regards to this matter. Especially, they say he came through the doors, and no, he didn't do any of that. He came down. In fact, there's notes that the guy said he was shocked that the hotel did not really search his belongings, and he was able to get weapons into the building. Now I'm going to take a look, and I'm going to just show you guys briefly this particular video in regards to the shooter. Okay, it doesn't want to play. Let's see if I can get the other one to play here.
As far as motivation, we are still looking into that. It appears he was targeting members of the administration.
You mentioned him traveling by train, which not a lot of Americans do. do cross country these days. Does that raise questions about whether he was trying to avoid being tracked?
We don't know whether
Okay,
he had the firearms with him. It does appear that he purchased
let me see if I can get this back up.
firearms within the past couple of years.
All right.
But that could be another reason why he traveled by train.
So today, the armed suspect who charged at Secret Service due in federal court as we learn more about his sinister plan targeting Trump officials after traveling across the
Okay, it seems that we're having some technical issues, probably in connection to what happened last week, but we'll just keep it there. I'm going to go through a few more of the comments before we take off. I hope this information gives you an idea of how this whole layout. Let's see, Jerome says, so that was stupid move for them to be in the basement. Okay, I think I went through that before. Okay. Yes, this could have been really, really bad when you think about it. Okay, let's take a few more. Let's see. Stella says, like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications to be notified for upcoming shows. And I definitely want to thank you guys for all the support. We've been getting so many comments and so many great people giving their thoughts. It seems that we have a lot of new names here, so that's great. We welcome you guys in. Mickey says, I'm a conservative, but with all the high-tech cameras today, why is it even a crime that the videos look like from the 1960s are grainy? Maybe I'm wrong, but does anyone agree? Okay, and quite a few people are agreeing with you in regards to that. I wonder why that video with him running, though, it definitely is grainy. I'm not sure why they would even bother putting that out. It's so bad. We have D. Cran. D. Cran says, are you kidding me? This was the same location as the Reagan shooting? I did not know that. Yes, in 1981, this is where it all happened. At just right above, just one level up, is where Reagan was shot. And now we have another president of the United States sitting there. You know, it's very questionable. I mean, I imagine they did the best they could do, but it just makes you wonder. Let's see. James says Saturday was an inside job. Release the unredacted Trumpstein files. So we keep hearing that. We've heard that a lot, that this was an inside job. But that remains to be debated. I see we have Caprello in the building. Shout out to you. Thank you for all your support. Thank you. I see Jeff is here. Jeff says it's a suspect, a teacher for second grade in California. I'm not sure of that. I know he's a teacher. I'm not sure if it was second grade in California. Definitely in California, though. Okay, D. Cran says, looking back on it all, that was staged back then. We just didn't get it. Okay, so you think that Reagan was staged too in 1981? Okay, thank you for that. Let's see. Here we have, okay, let's see. To you says, JK, it's horrible video. I can't see nothing. Okay, which video are you referring to? Are you talking about where the guy was running? I'm not sure exactly. Okay, Jerome says, this dude ran so fast like a field rat. Okay, thank you. Curtis says, wonder how much money Trump paid the so-called shooter. Oh, wow. Okay, you believe that this was some sort of hoax? Okay, I get it. Okay. Jerome says, did they get them yet? I'm not sure exactly. Ground and Sky says, at the end of the day, the president is safe, as well as the rest of them. That's true. A lot of people were there in the building. As you can see from the layout, it was a vast place. Okay. We have Doug. Doug appears to be new. Welcome into you. It says, did the SS shoot but miss? I don't think he made it down to shoot, obviously, into the ballroom, but they say he shot an officer and the bullet struck him in his vest. So that's basically what they said. So pretty much that gives you the idea of the entire layout. I just wanted to present this to you guys for those people that said that this individual, there's no way he could have ran into the building with all the layers of security. But in actuality, you could actually see from the layout that I did, he actually ran from the elevator. And so it would explain how he had access to this particular part of the building. He was trying to get down those stairs, and you see what could have been done if he had reached his goal. FJ says, Trump derangement is real here. Okay. All right. Not sure why. Pretty says, allegedly the family of the suspect was paid $5 million before the event. Okay. I hadn't heard that. Blah says he stayed in the hotel room the night before. Yes, he actually stayed there several nights according to record, and then he made the run for it, like Jerome said, like a field rat, right? I see we have Brian here. Brian says the guy's going to prison for a hoax. Come on, man. All right, Brian is not buying that this was a hoax, folks, okay? Jerome says they're going to blame it on the female Secret Service officers anyway. That's always the case. That's what people were saying last night. It's always the case. At the end of the day, they blame it on the female. I saw that last night too. Paul says another stage. Okay. Doug says, I meant did the Secret Service shoot but miss? Okay, I get it. Thanks for clearing that up. All right. We have Alan Beauty here. Alan Beauty says, hey, y'all, listening during the commute. We'll have a safe commute. I hope everything is fine for you. We have New Jerseyan. New Jerseyan says, like, share, subscribe to the channel. So, based on everything you saw tonight from the layout and looking at some of the history, do you guys still think that this is a hoax? Put a 1 in the chat if you think it's a hoax. Put a 2 if you think not. Let's see what you guys have to say after factoring in so much information in regards to this, not just tonight, but ever since it happened on Saturday night. What do you guys say? Blas says, I'm confused. Are we saying it was fake or real? Well, that's what this poll is going to do. It's going to answer your question. So far, we have 2 no's, 1 yes, 3 no's. Okay. Jeff changed his mind. He doesn't think it was fake. Okay. All right. Thank you, Jerome. I'm glad you found the show to be nice. I hope it was enlightening to help you understand the layout. I think once I saw the layout, it helped me understand what really happened. And it all made sense. Like, you know, when they showed us the guy, he was actually just laying there on his belly with his hands behind his back, and they had the aluminum over him. So looking at the layout and understanding all these details, it was definitely an eye-opener. Okay, thank you, Jerome, for the donation of $19.99. That's amazing. Thanks for supporting the channel. You're far too kind. Brian doesn't believe that it was fake. Okay, Robert doesn't believe it. Pretty believes it was. Okay, New Jerseyan believe it was too. Okay, all right. Jeff says no. Paul says yes. Okay. Blah says no. Not a hoax. Not a hoax. Sophie says no. Not a hoax. Okay. Ground and Sky says not sure. May need more information yet. Okay. All right. What about in regards? Let's do the poll next on the Butler, Pennsylvania shooting. We'll do that next. But let me get through these comments. Jerome says, I wish you blessings. Great guy. Great show. Mods and chat. Thank you very much. Jeff says, good evening. Alan, be safe going home. All right. That's amazing. Okay. Sophie says, I thought it was staged at first, but now I think it was real. Definitely. I think this information definitely sheds more light on this situation. Pretty says, how can I not think it's fake? I have no trust in the Trump administration. Okay. I do understand your angle. Rick says, look, people were caught off guard. Yes, it looks like they were. But you see, he was probably able to figure out the layout and know just where to run to. Obviously, when he got to the hotel, he probably did some test runs. But because they have the virtual hotel online, I imagine it was instrumental in him determining that this was a place that he would be able to try at least to, attack the president of the United States. Okay, so we're going to do the next poll question. After all consideration of what you know so far, put a 1 in the chat if you think the Butler shooting of the president, where he was struck in the ear, was a hoax and fake, or put a 2 in the chat if you now feel like it was real. Okay, so let's see what you guys have to say. Put a 1 in the chat if you think it was a hoax. Put a 2 if you don't think so. Okay. All right. That's right. Ground and Sky says lack of information leads to speculation. That's so true. That is so true. Blah says your hate for Trump shouldn't blind you from the truth of reality. Good point. Good point. Okay. All right. Now, when it comes to Butler, we're getting all sorts of ones. So we're getting way more ones in regards to people feel that it was a hoax. So we're still stuck on that. I guess it's a matter of getting more information in regards to that matter too. So maybe we'll do a deep dive on that soon. Purple Groovy is here, says, good evening, Mel, mods, and chat. We all have trust issues because they have been lying. They have lying issues. Okay, thank you for your comment. Blah says, 2, obviously, anyone saying 1 needs to go tell the dead guy's family to stop acting. Okay, good point. That's a solid point. Okay. Martin says, Fox News, fake news. I get it. I totally do. Brian says he's going with 2. The fireman died. Okay. So you think that it was a real deal? I get it. Jeff says, been researching, so I can't say it's a hoax anymore. Okay, so Jeff changed his position. I remember your old position. So that's amazing when research causes people to change their position. We're starting to see that more and more, especially with people that used to be a part of religion, maybe a part of the government, or even supporting the president. For some reason, they change their position and they're not afraid to come forward and talk to people about it. So I take my hat off for individuals who are brave enough to change their mind on any different subject. It's not just the president, not just religion, but anything that research leads you in a different direction. Martin says it was dinner theater, so you think it was all a movie. Ground and Sky says, I used to think it was real. Okay, now you question it. Okay. All right, so now you're questioning the Butler incident with the president of the United States. Okay, Rick, says, question, tell me or show me why you think this is a fake. Show me proof now. And yes, I mean now. Okay, so that wouldn't be directed to me because I don't think that way. So I'm not sure who that's directed to. But at any rate, or maybe it's directed to anybody that voted against it, but you have to clarify because that's not my position. Now, you could be assuming that's my position, but information leads you to a different direction. Okay, Ground and Sky says, okay, I think I lost that comment. All right, let's see. Robert says, how many times has President Trump said central casting that found out about Butler ahead of time? They found out about Butler. Okay. Central casting. Okay. Pretty says, and I lost that comment. The comments are moving so fast. Take a look at Trump ear. Are you saying that there's no scar? Tell me exactly what you mean in regards to that. Okay, Rick says, look, this guy really must have thought this was the movie in the Line of Fire with the Clint Eastwood, really. Okay, all right, not sure what that means. But thank you either way for expressing yourself. It's very important. All right, so I think that does it for tonight. We had a chance to explore the hotel, get an idea of the layout. I think it dispels quite a few of the rumors that we've been hearing that people are making based on not having enough facts about what could have happened. Now, you may have more information that comes out that makes you change your position even more, but that remains to be seen. Pretty says, use your own judgment when you look at the ear. Good point. Good point. I think the whole issue with the ear is when the president went on Joe Rogan. I think Joe Rogan, well, I don't want to speak for him, but different YouTube channels and people are trying to spin it that Joe Rogan said basically there was no scar on the president's ear. From what I saw and looking at the aftermath, there was just a speck on the president's ear. So I don't think they claim that the ear was basically blown off or anything like that. I think from day one, in fact, if you look at the hearing, when I do a breakdown on it, I'll show you the congressman that it was an FBI agent that they brought on for questioning. And when they asked him, did the president get shot in the ear? He wouldn't say no. Okay, so that was interesting. He said he may have been hit by some shrapnel, so maybe a small piece or so. So that's interesting. Blah says the fireman died. Good point. That's the same point that Brian made. Deanna Parker says, how you not have security at the elevator? Isn't that a great point? Deanna, you should get a reward for that. Now, we can't see that area, but it makes you wonder because he was able to get around, but he was booking it. Not sure what caused him. I heard that the Secret Service had tackled him and that's why he fell. But there was an eyewitness there, and she made it seem that he just fell on his own accord. And I'm not sure what to believe, but at any rate, he ended up on that floor. And I think he's fortunate that he didn't have a bullet in him, because if he was able to shoot an officer and still walk away with his life, I think he definitely, he went against the odds. Sophie says, thanks for explaining things. It changed my mind. Okay, Saturday night. I think I covered that. Deanna says, cameras don't lie. Okay, very good. D. Cran says, show me proof it's not staging other than the mainstream media telling us it happened. Good point. I respect that. Purple Groovy says, Trump is the master of mass distractions. Oh, my. All right. Rick says, look, I really don't think so. Okay. All right. Todd Steiner appears to be new. If so, Todd, welcome in. Nice to have you. Todd says, it was a setup. None of it was real. All show. Let's be real. Wow. So many people feel that this is a hoax. And also Butler, too. I wonder what causes so many people to doubt an administration, or is it just a sign of the times that we're living in that people doubt everything? What do you guys think? Tell me in the comment section. Do you think that's just the nature of the life that we live nowadays? Rick says, question, why would a teacher from California come to D.C. and enter the White House weapons to kill people? Give me an answer, really. Well, I can't give you my answer because I don't really have one, but I can give you an answer that the social media has. I can show you. Give me a second, guys. I'll pull up the reason that I saw on social media. And believe you me, I can't confirm this. Many are saying it's real, but again, I can't confirm, and I'm going to share it. But this is the guy's photo that's floating around on social media. All right, so that's his photo. I want you guys to take notice of the logo on his shirt. Okay, you see the logo on his shirt? All right, so now I'm going to show you what that logo allegedly says, folks. Okay, so that's it. Israel Defense Forces. So is this a narrative? But this is strong online. A lot of people are just saying, oh, this is the reason why the guy did it. I mean, it's crazy out there, you know. It requires more research. That's why I hadn't planned to really show it, but it is what it is. I'm making it very clear that this is just a narrative online. You know, we live in a time that people can create any narrative, especially with AI. So let's not forget about that. But this is the spin currently floating through on X and on Facebook and some of these other platforms. And I find it more and more, and I don't want to talk badly about different companies and so forth, but I will tell you, people post insane things on Facebook. Jeez Louise. I mean, they just make up stories about the president. They make up stories about Nancy Guthrie, Pee Wee Herman, Sesame Street. They make up stories about anything. It's just crazy. Rick says, yes, you are right about that. Okay. All right. Okay. Pretty Ting says, oh, Decran says, bingo. Rick says, well, okay. He was on the list. Okay. All right. What is this list that you guys are talking about? Put it in the chat. Todd says, nobody not on the list will not even get through the door. Right. But keep in mind that I showed you, that was the point of this video. He actually came down the elevator. Okay. So let me just go back for those that might be just coming in. We have a few more minutes. I'm going to just show you a few things. But anyway, people are already pointing to Israel as him. They said that these photos came off of his Facebook. I did not see that, but I'm just giving you an idea of the narrative that people have. So here we go. For those that are just coming in, I'll give you a brief. I'm going to show you this. Actually, this is not the one I want to show. There's so many videos. Hopefully it plays. If it doesn't play, we'll just have to do it again another day. Let's see if I could find the video. Here we go. And it looks like we're having some technical issues with videos today. I'm not sure why. Now, keep in mind, you see the doors in the background? That's where I matched it up for you guys so you could see exactly where these tables were. I'm going to show you guys again. Notice the doors in the background, right? You see the gap. And also there's a double door. His photo is blocking it. You could also see the hallway. You see this door over to the left, okay? I also showed you guys the camera that's showing you this view. At the bottom right of this photo, you can see the beginning of the stairs that he was trying to go down, but he fell just short of the stairs, okay? So keep that in mind while I try to go back. It seems that we're having some technical issues. I don't know if it's YouTube, but hey, it could be. It is what it is, folks. Let's see if we can get to this here. All right, let me try to, give me 1 second. I'm going to show you guys again. All right, so this is the ballroom. As you can see, the president was here to the left, okay? J.D. Vance was here. They moved J.D. Vance out first, okay? When you turn around in the ballroom, you see the doors that lead to the main entrance right here. It's off to the side. This is the doors that he was trying to come through. And if he was successful, all he would have had to have done with the shotgun was just turn the corner here. He would have came down these stairs. Hold on, guys, 1 second. Okay, he would have came down these stairs. Once we get this right. Okay, we're having some technical issues, but let's see. Okay, so that's the stairs over here. Right here. So he was trying to come down these stairs, okay? And if he had came down these stairs, when you look through this door, look how easy of a target it is. The stage is right there. And if he had started shooting with the shotgun, it would have been a terrible night for a lot of people. Okay, so they stopped him at the top of this stairwell. He was on the terrace level. Okay, we're going to go back up there before we sign out for tonight. So I'm going to take you back up. This is rather complicated, but we can get through it, right? All right, so here we go. All right, so this, you see the couches here, sofas. This is the lobby area. Where the view is, you see the two blue chairs? We would be standing over top of that where Reagan was shot. So right now, what we're looking down on, or the upper level, we'd be standing in the carport where cars are being dropped off. And this is the front door here, right here where these couches are, okay? So it's hard to believe, but cars are driving all over top of this ballroom. There's people walking over the ballroom every day. There's buses. There's a road that go right over pretty much through here where the ballroom is. So I'm going to show you that when we step inside this terrace area, you'll see what I'm talking about. So the doors are here where it's lit up. Those are the doors into the terrace floor. So when we go here, you see what I'm talking about. See? Boom. So we were just beyond those doors, and I was showing you when you walk out these doors, you're still in the building is on the basement level. So he actually came down these elevators. Okay, he came down these elevators. He was staying on one of these floors. Okay, in the video, when you see him running down, this is probably how he made his path. Those are the stairs that he's trying to get to, right? Those are the steps and stairs right there. He runs straight away. And I'm going to show you that. I'm going to give you proof. Okay, so there's the doors here. He fell right here. Let's see if you guys, okay, so where I have the marker at, that's where he fell. He was laying there like a chicken with some aluminum foil that had him laying on his belly, right? But those are the doors. You see that? This is where the Secret Service was at. They had their tables here. He came running from the blue. That's the foyer where the elevator is. So you see where that blue dot is back there? He came running really fast through here. Secret Service is right here where my marker is on the floor. Okay, now let me show you guys. I'm going to back out here. We're going to look at the ceiling. I'm going to show you the camera. You see this camera here in the ceiling where my marker is? That's the camera view that we had that the president showed where the guy came running down the hallway really fast. Okay, and I'm going to show you one other thing. This is that door that I pointed out. See this door here? That's the door. Okay, so he's laying right here. He almost made it. He almost made it, guys. He fell. Let me just show you from a different angle. He fell right here on the ground. If he had went down these steps, right, he would have came out in the basement where I just showed you right by the ballroom. I'll show you one last time and we'll be out of here. Okay, so I'm going to show you if he had, let's see if I can find it. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, so there we go. So here's the ballroom. The president of the United States was out sitting on stage. I'm going to show you the stage, still the same curtains. Okay, so the president's sitting here. J.D. Vance is sitting there. Okay, Secret Service was all on this side behind the curtains. To me, that's a big problem. I guess, if they were smart about it, they should have had Secret Service on this side, or the National Guard, I would say, on this side to grab Trump, and then have some on this side to grab J.D. Vance. But because they didn't have that, at least what it appeared, they came out really fast. They took J.D. Vance, pulled him behind the curtain to the far right. Then they came back and they grab Donald Trump. I'm going to show you. Let's see. Can we do this right now? I'm going to show you this right now just so you can actually get the point. Oh, that's right. The videos are not really showing. We're going to give it a try real quick. And let me show you here. Let's see. So they took out JD Vance first, right? Because they're all on the right side of the stage in this corner, but the president is sitting there like a duck, meaning he's wide open. You know, it's just not smart. It took them 22 seconds after getting JD Vance to pretty much go get the president. Notice all the guys with the guns came from the right side of the stage. They didn't come from the side. They weren't close to the president. You would imagine that the guys with the big guns would be within a rock throw of the president, but no, this is an issue. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. This is not a hoax in my eyes. I see too many mistakes for it to be a hoax. This is real. There's so many different mistakes. Also, last week, we had the situation here in the comment section. I think this is all real. And for some reason, we're having some technical problems, so I won't keep pushing it. And you see the poor lady, she's just trying to protect herself. You know, they were taking care of the president. We get it. See, all these guys are coming from the right side. That's the issue. Maybe they were outside. Maybe they weren't even in the building. Maybe it took them that long to get into this particular room. All right. So they're getting JD Vance first. Okay, so we're having all sorts of technical issues for whatever reason with YouTube. So I won't push it, but I'm going to take you right back in here. And before we close out, I'm just going to show you what would have happened again if he had came down those stairs. So again, remember the big argument that we hear in the media is that, well, there's a guy standing in front of the president. You guys remember that? He's actually, I could just show you that really easy. So give me 1 second, guys, bear with me. I'm going to show you this really easy here. So let's go through this briefly. I'm going to show you, this is the room. I'm going to show you back and back how this all plays out. So you heard the shot, right? Everybody heard the shot. So this angle right here, you guys notice the angle of the stage? That's the angle of the door. Let me show it to you really quickly here. All right. So that's the angle. Let's go back to the door. See these doors over here? I'm going to put this camera pretty much where the cameraman was. See here? This is the same angle. And what's behind me? The doors. These are the main doors. And just beyond the doors is the stairs that the shooter was trying to come down. Let me show you real quick. This thing is weird. Anyway, So these are the stairs that he was trying to come down. Okay. He fell at the top of these stairs on the terrace level. I want to show you that. See that? He fell on the terrace level. The terrace level is where Ronald Reagan was shot, right outside those doors. He was trying to come here. Notice the angle when you walk inside the door. Okay. So you guys see the stage, right? This is where the cameraman, my argument is, watch that. See the same angle. You see that? That's the same angle right there. I put the camera in the same angle that the cameraman is here. So behind this cameraman is these doors and the stairwell where the man would have came in. Now, the argument that everybody had is that these two guys standing there, the one on the ground and the one on the level of the stage with the president, they would have protected him. No, standing at this angle, the guy would have came in. Let me just show you guys quickly. See, he would have came in these doors. Let me turn around. See here? He would have came down the stairs to the right here. He would have ran in here. At this angle, these men would not have protected the president if he had got off some shots. You see that? And then on top of that, you got 3,000 people all through the building. And when you have a shotgun, remember all those pellets, they expand out and you hit all sorts of things, people, places, and things, okay? So that kills the argument that the mainstream media has, because this is the angle that the shooter would have had on the president and anybody else on that stage, okay? One little guy standing in front, two guys is not going to do you any good, all right? I'm going to go back here, and we're about to wrap this up, folks. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. So here's the angle. You see that? I just, well, I guess not. We lost the angle. Let's see. What's the issue here? And I can't share this anymore. Oh, man. Let's see. Let me get this back up here. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to get this back up. All right. There we go. All right. So there's the angle. The same angle the shooter would have had. Okay. And this is the actual video. We're going to go back to it. So you see, let me go back a little bit. Now we see the other angle. I showed you how J.D. Vance was taken out first. I'm going to show you what it looks like from this angle. Thank you, Spartacus. Thank you very much. Says, thank you for doing the breakdown best on YouTube. Thank you for that. That's amazing. But this is how we should be able to look at cases and really break it down. I put together one for Nancy Guthrie that's going to be amazing too. I'm also going to do a breakdown of the shooting that happened in Butler, PA. I'm thinking about taking a ride out there to the property. It's not that far from me. So it just depends on how my schedule goes. I might do that for the crowd. But anyway, let's get back to it. You see the look on Melania's face, the first lady. She almost looked like she saw a ghost, right? The president is clueless right now. He still doesn't know what's happening. Now watch Melania's head as it goes down below the table. The president said today, I pretty much cover everything he says or does, right? He said he heard someone behind him say, "Get down," and that's when he knew there was a problem. Up until this point, he was just enjoying himself. So you see, they're getting J.D. Vance out on the far stage. All of the security detail, the National Guard, the big guns, they're all on that side of the stage, while the president is sitting over here wide open. And again, the angle of the shooter is the angle that we have right now from this camera vantage point. And so those guys standing out front won't do anything to protect the president. So right there, you see the president. He said they had to push him down. I guess the guy, he's not really scared of anything, not even gunfire or whatever. Pretty brave guy. And you see the security, the Secret Service with the big guns, all right? Okay, World Best says this, well, let's see, so fake it's embarrassing. Okay, Jeff, nice having you here tonight. Okay, everybody's saying the stage. Wow, we're still saying the stage. Jerome says, them Sleepy Joe jokes is catching up. Okay. D. Cran says, fake, fake, and fake. Okay. All right, I understand. Trox says, midterms coming. Ha ha ha, can't distract that. Okay, Trox says, effing distraction after distraction. A lot of people feel that this is fake. Okay. All right, Elizabeth says, Mel, you're so awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you very much. Trox says, haha, what a fake. Their reaction was hilarious, and Secret Service took JD first. Ha ha ha. Okay, so let's get back to it really quickly before we end up. It's amazing how they went to get RFK and they take him out first after they secure the president and the vice president. So I wonder why, because there's a lot of important people in the building. So let's check that out briefly. You're going to see them start walking over chairs and tables. It takes about 9 people to get RFK out along with his wife. So you can see RFK at this vantage point. You can see people trying to determine if they want to stay under the tables, get under the tables. Some guys are sitting there still eating. All right, so there you have it, folks. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I hope this information help you to understand more, at least, about the layout and how this could have happened. Perhaps Trox says Melania fell and Trump fell. Ha ha ha. Dude wasn't even in the room. Okay. Robert says different camera angles show things differently. Okay. Trox says, did you see RFK? He was lit. Didn't know what the freak. Okay. Robert says, just think how many people are saying stupid things. Remember, the Secret Service is watching along with Space Force. Okay. All right. Country Carpenter is in the building. Thank you for the continued support. Elizabeth, I really do hear you. Elizabeth says, I do not feel staged. Okay. Thank you for expressing yourself boldly, Elizabeth. You're so amazing. Spartacus says, Trump definitely tripped and fell down. They were trying to rush him out, not get him down. Trump just doesn't want to admit he fell. Okay. All right. Ground and Sky says, have a great night. Okay. All right, very good. Deanna says, why was the security asleep? No one at the elevator, no one at the entrance. This was orchestrated. He actually came down the elevator. So as far as the entrance go, I get your drift, but we can't really see the vantage point of the elevator. But even if they had people at the elevator, he was able to get past them. Keep in mind that when he came running down the hallway, we didn't see anyone running behind him. So it's a good chance that you're right. No one was at the elevator. So there's a lot of gaps there. Not sure why that keeps happening, especially when it comes to the president of the United States. D. Cran says, how many attempts has the guy had on his life? He's going for the world record in attempts. LOL. Okay, very good. Thank you. M. Wallen says, it was Melania's birthday yesterday, too. That's right. That was a birthday either today or yesterday. Yep, you're right. Jeff says, well, gotta go. Okay, thank you very much for sticking around. Robert says, great show, maybe a setup. Okay. Let's see. Trock says, Mel, is she a he? Who are you referring to? I'm not totally sure. Okay, Trock says, haha, Secret Service watching us. Oh, that's crazy. After seeing a aspiration attempt and the way Secret Service works, no worries whatsoever. Okay, you feel like they're lousy. Okay, I get your drift. Okay. And Wallen says, where are the comments being posted? I don't see them here in YouTube chat. We have two chats going. One is horizontal for televisions and laptops and computers. The other one is vertical, and that stream goes to your cell phone. All right, Pretty is still here with us. Shout out to you, Pretty. Thank you for being a key part of this channel. Pretty says, if you don't have freedom to speak, what do you really have? Okay, you don't really have much of anything. Thank you. If you don't have your freeness of speech, that's so important. Purple Ruby says, thanks for the great coverage, Mel. Okay, thank you very much. All right. Okay, let's see. A few more comments came up. Let's see. Elizabeth says, they just thought he was a guest of the hotel since he was staying there. And that's where they made the mistake, right? I mean, he really was booking it like a field rat. I think that's what Jerome said earlier. He was really booking it, but he did not make it to his objective, and therefore people retain their lives, and that's a good thing. M. Wallen says, thanks for clarifying the two chats. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I really do appreciate it. I hope this information helped you understand the layout a little bit better. And also, I didn't realize that Ronald Reagan had been shot right there in the circle, right outside the building, back in 1981. So this was a great refresher for myself. I remember the day that it happened, but I didn't know that it happened at this hotel and so forth. So a lot of history at the Hilton Hotel in D.C. Ground and Sky says, keep it positive and we all grow together. Okay, very good. Robert Long, thank you. D. Cran says, peace out, Mel. See you next time. All right. We'll see you guys back tomorrow at noon. And again, I just want to give everybody a good reminder that we have to be careful of some of the things that we're saying. There's major issues happening in regards to what happened in Washington, D.C. in connection. And just to know that sometimes individuals can be in our chat. It's kind of sobering, to say the least. But going forward, we're going to definitely make sure that people try to be modest and respectful in the chat. And also, we have incredible moderators. And I just want to say it's important for us to follow their guidance because they try to help keep everybody in a safe space. A lot of people say, well, this is the internet. What do you mean by a safe space? Well, we don't need people in the chat just calling names, acting like they're uncivilized, that they were raised in a barn somewhere. But we're looking to grow with people who mean well And you just can't come in the chat threatening people's lives or anything of the sort. So I think the moderators do a good job in keeping that together. But since we had the big episode last week, I just wanted to mention this because I see now that a lot of threats that happen, they actually come true, and we're trying to avoid that. So it's very important. I'm here in New York City, and let me tell you something. If you say something in New York, people take you very seriously because there's so many threats, so many people that could care less about you and how you feel, especially on the subway now. I'm starting to see more and more fights and all sorts of things happening. And I just don't understand how people can live with themselves after going around trying to shove someone in front of a train. I mean, these are things that happen here in New York, so it's out of control. So definitely we want to encourage people can we have a break from all of that and actually have a peaceful chat without having to call everybody names? It's okay to be a Republican, a Democrat, a independent, whatever you want to be, but it's also important to be kind and not to be so aggressive. We don't really need that. If you want to be a tough guy, there are so many places you can go and express your toughness, and perhaps even some of that toughness will come back your way, but it's probably what you're looking for. Here in the chat, that's not what we're about. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the new faces, all the new names, all the new supporters. We have a lot coming down the pipeline. The next breakdown I'll do, for those that are interested, I know a lot of people are not interested in it, but I will be doing the breakdown on Butler, Pennsylvania, and also have a breakdown for those that are interested in Nancy Guthrie. I've been working on it for quite some time now, but I think when I release it, everybody's going to appreciate it that's been following that case. So you guys have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow for news at noon. Until then, be safe. And again, thank you for your time tonight. I really do appreciate you guys. Have a good night.
Different voices, but the same song. Building a world where we all belong. Kindness leading the way, breaking the chains. In the symphony of love, the flame remains. Embracing diversity, brighter days in sight. Watching the world sharing love and light. Hearts beating as one in our peaceful flight. Colors of harmony, painting the night. United we stand in love's pure might. Watching the world sharing love and light. Hearts beating as one in our peaceful flight. The colors of harmony, painting the night. United we stand in love's pure might.